Hey David, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one today. Yeah, and you know that's kind of the funny thing about it is that it's hard to know how to get to it. I remember the first time I was looking at it, it took me a long time to figure out that I needed to go up through the watchtower to be able to access it. I kept looking at the map and I was like, yeah, it looks like there's a way to go over here, but then I go that way and there's a dead end. It didn't go there, and it took me a while to figure out that I needed to climb the watchtower to get there. Yeah, I wish they would have put the quest marker on the tower instead of on the front door to it. That would have made it much easier to find it. Or maybe you put the quest marker there and then when you get to that point it updates and moves the quest marker to the front door or something like that. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode number 48 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Paladin gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on some admin notes, I missed talking about this yesterday, about the game, but Wednesday of last week, Larian celebrated the 1-year anniversary of the release of Baldur's Gate 3. And they put out a bunch of statistics about the game. And some of them are funny, some of them are just amazing. But one of them that struck me as interesting is, out of all the millions of players who have played the game, only 377,000 players figured out how to save Alfira as the Dark Urge. And that's funny to me because I said only 377,000, but that's a massive number. Because out of those millions of players, you have to think that only a fraction of them have played a Dark Urge playthrough all the way through. But then during that Dark Urge playthrough, I'm sure a lot of people who weren't playing in Honor Mode were presented with Alfira in camp and ended up killing her, and immediately went out and tried to find a way to save Alfira afterward. And out of the, probably, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the 1 million+ players or so that have played a Dark Urge playthrough, 377,000, a third or maybe a quarter of that total have actually gone through the trouble to figure out how to save Alfira as a Dark Urge. And that was funny to me. It shows that the players who play this game aren't just interested in following where the game leads you. They're very interested in finding ways around things to other places where the game doesn't lead you. And that's the spirit of tabletop, all rolled up into one neat analogy. That's what tabletop is finding ways to challenge your DM's narrative and do it in a way that garners respect for everybody at the table, including your DM. And I just found that to be an amazing statistic because of the immense amount of hard work we put into doing it in our Honor Mode playthrough. But yeah, it worked out well, and I'm happy to see all of these amazing statistics that they put out on Wednesday of this week. Feel free to go look at their post on X and other social media platforms and take a look at some of the stats. It's just amazing what this game has been after a year. So on another admin note, I'm testing out a new chat overlay for the stream. I broke down and went and logged into Stream Elements. I didn't really want to do either Streamlabs or Stream Elements for my overlay, but YouTube changed their chat, and the CSS scripts and customizations no longer work. So I had to go somewhere else to be able to do that, and throughout the day there's going to be a noticeable delay in especially me posting. So when I type something in chat, it takes a good 5 to 7 seconds to show up in OBS, and then another 5 to 10 seconds for it to show up live on the stream. So if I'm typing something, there's a very noticeable delay. With you all typing it, it's less of a delay, but it is a few seconds more than it used to be in the past. So you may see me responding to questions before you see the question on screen. And that's because I do have the chat opened up here, and it tends to come into the studio in YouTube, then it goes out to Stream Elements, then it comes back to me to OBS, and then it goes back out to YouTube to the live stream. So there's some inherent delays in that I don't necessarily like, but it's better, I think, than not having any chat on the screen at all, and making people follow along with the live chat in YouTube. Especially from a VOD perspective, having the chat up there so that people can watch it full screen and not have to worry about the chat over in the corner, I think is a good thing. So the point of bringing it up is if you have any issues with it, font is too small, or it's too hard to read, or it stays on screen too long or not long enough, whatever it is, please drop a comment in the video afterward, or drop something here in live chat, and I'll see if I can't update it. And as we go along here, we'll get it perfected to where we want. So the last admin note is that I'm still kind of dealing with after effects of my COVID from last week and early this week. So my voice is still a little bit scratchy, and I will be muting my mic occasionally to cough and clear my throat and that sort of stuff. So I apologize if a cough or something does come through. I'll do my best to make sure it's muted. So I think that's all of the admin notes. So on our recap, last week was very interesting. We completed Shadowheart's personal quest, and she is now Mother Superior of the Sharan Dark Justiciars in Baldur's Gate. And that is fulfilling a lifelong quest for her. And I think from a role-playing perspective, it fits very well with what she's always wanted to do with her life. There are obviously multiple ways to play it, and we'll see it play out differently in different playthroughs. But this week, we're going to continue on in that vein. At the end of last week, we started getting ready to deal with the Pale Elf, which is Astarion's personal quest. And we did that by opening up the entrance to the Szarr Palace. And we're going to jump in here, and we're going to continue on to the interior of the Szarr Palace and do some explorations before we get into a big fight with Cazador. Hey, Rudy, welcome. Okay, here we are at the end of last live stream, where we had saved, in effect, the Flaming Fist guards who were enthralled down below. We have done some explorations up here, and we're ready to enter the upper tower here, make our way to the Szarr Palace.
Let's see.
Hey Andy, welcome. Thanks for being here. So here inside the upper tower, we're really entering into the Szarr Palace here at this point. And here we've got a key, which we're going to need. And then there's a servant etiquette scroll here, which basically says that from Chamberlain to Faye, do your job silently, don't mess around, don't do anything that's going to upset Cazador, and you'll be fine. So a little bit of searching around in here, and some more books that we can pick up. we'll head up to the ramparts. And now we're back outside again. So there are a few things that you can search out here, but nothing really important. However, one thing that we want to do...
Perhaps the blood-stained sort with a
take
hooded
Gable. We're going to go back to camp. We're going to take a fish. Put it in his inventory. And from here, we're going to go on a little flying excursion. Onward. And I'm looking for somebody in particular. There she is, right there. Like, I'm pretty sure she's over here somewhere. Now, we've interacted with Tara before.
Something over there. My pleasure.
Nothing.
Back so soon? I've a nose for the things, in fact.
Okay, and we picked up an item from her last time. Well, she has, once she moves to a different rooftop, she gains a second item for us here. Now, again, the way that you pay Tara, if you don't remember from last time, is that you give her magical items. So all of the magical items in your inventory are shown here. No gold is shown here. No non-magical items are shown here. However, Tara has a thing for fish, and you can kind of game the barter screen here by, instead of offering her magic items, this is worth 74 gold. So instead of giving her, like, the risky ring here, to give her something of equal or more value than the slinging shoes, you can game the system here by putting a fish in the offer value. Now, a single fish isn't enough, but once you have a single item in here, you can click the balance offer button and it will input the other amount of gold you need. You're not normally able to add gold to this because Tara doesn't really care about gold. She cares about fish and magical items. But putting a fish in here gets us an item in the window here, and then you're able to balance offer and it will pull gold out of your inventory and put it in here to make up for the difference. And then you can just click barter. So now, what did we get? We got the slinging shoes. These are a hilarious item. They return to the owner when thrown. On hit, deal an additional 2d4 psychic damage, and they give you a +1 to dexterity saving throws. These are not a pair of shoes that you necessarily wear to gain additional damage. This is a pair of shoes that you throw, literally with the throw action, at other things or other enemies. Now, your throwing damage applies to these shoes. So your tavern brawler, throwing type of barbarians and that sort of stuff who use improvised weapons and things like that to throw items like we're doing with Karlach in the honor mode playthrough. He can benefit by throwing these shoes, and these shoes are going to hit with the tavern brawler damage, but they are also going to do an additional 2d4 psychic damage on hit. Now that makes these incredibly powerful from a throwing perspective. So it's kind of crazy that these as an improvised weapon are one of the best improvised weapons in the game, actually, for your tavern brawler throwing barbarians. So we're not going to be utilizing them in this playthrough, but I did want to showcase them and make sure that everyone's aware of them, because one, they're hilarious, and two, they are just really good for a specific build. And I believe, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in chat, but I believe that Tara only sells 2 different items. I don't believe she has a third, but I'm sure somebody in chat will look that up and correct me if I'm wrong.
Can't give up now.
If she does have a third, then we just have to wait for a long rest and she'll appear on a different rooftop. Okay, there's a pouch down here at the end. I don't think there's anything in this pouch. Yeah, there's not. And then here's the entrance to the Szarr Palace. Okay, now a couple of interesting things about the Szarr Palace. There are paintings all over the walls, and you can steal every single one of these. So if you are short on gold for any reason at this point, feel free to rob every painting in this place. No one's going to care while you do it. We're going to go up and talk to Vardarola here.
I should speak up.
The master is pure. His palace must be pure. No stain, no smudge, no taint. Pure.
Okay, so a servant, nothing much going on. The secret plank, there were 2 of them that I had perception checks for. One of them on the roof of Devil's Fee, and one of them on the roof of the newspaper, the Baldur's Gazette. The one on the roof of the Baldur's Gazette gives you a potion of invisibility, and I believe a set of thieves' tools to help you come into the Baldur's Gate Gazette from the roof, like you're intended to. We didn't do that. We came into the Baldur's Gate Gazette through by using darkness to maneuver around down to the basement, and we did not talk to the editor, which gets you kicked out and then forces you to come into the roof. So that's what's in that one. The one that's above Devil's Fee, we're going to see a little bit more about as we get into the Devil's Fee some more. But you don't really need anything out of either one. They're just helpful if you're going about it the way Larian intends you to, but we just didn't. So here we have a sinister door. You can click on the door.
This does.
The door is covered in intricate text, but you can't see anywhere a key might fit. Only a small round hollow engraved with a family crest.
Okay, so you have a history or investigation check. You don't need to do either one of these. Basically, you're going to find throughout our explorations of the palace here that you need 2 things to get through the door. Okay, and we're going to go find those 2 things as we explore the rest of the palace. So we're going to start off here in the Chamberlain suite. Okay, now this door here is locked. You can lockpick it, but there's no need to. Okay, and this is the Chamberlain's office. So you're going to find a whole lot of high-end clothing and a bunch of wines and camp supply type items in here by searching. So high-end clothing. Now some of this clothing can be worth a lot. That's 65 gold for that piece of clothing. So don't skimp out on picking these up if you're short on gold.
Maybe I need more pockets.
Wine goblets, glass goblets, they're going to be all over this place. And here, there's the ballroom door. And here they talk about a dictionary that they use to train new servants on how to operate the ballroom door. And he lets you know that his signet ring alone won't do the job. So please have the servants sort this out. So at this point, you know that you need two things to get through the door. You need this dictionary, and you need a signet ring. Okay. So now let's go looking for those things. First, you can kind of see on your mini-map that this is kind of cut off here. Through this area, there's no perception check here. However, just walk through the door, or walk through the wall. Okay, so there's an illusory wall there, and on the ground is Larian Studios. If you read the note, you can find that Lariana is Chamberlain Dufay's wife, and she found his body, quote unquote, and the empty bottle. I know you took a potion. Was it poison or someone else? I'm going to drink one of them, and then I'll join you one way or another. So this is her. And you're also going to get the Chamberlain private room key here.
Whatever killed this werewolf burned it up from the inside. Its throat and innards are more liquid than solid.
And that empty potion bottle is here. So we picked up previously from the Chamberlain's desk a mysterious elixir. This actually is feigned death for 10 turns. So she went to take a potion. She took the wrong one. And this one killed her. We're going to find out what the usage of this one was for here in just a little bit. Okay, now there's another illusory wall here, but you can't get through this one going that way. There's a chest blocking it. And since you can't see it, you can't move over the top of it. But you got the key. And that takes you to this side. And see, here's that wicker chest I was telling you about. So once it's moved out of the way, then you can walk back and forth all you want. But with it there on the opposite side, you don't have access to it. Okay, nothing really here on this side of the bed. There's a perception check you're going to get, though.
Let's get on with it. No time to waste.
And if you don't pass it, the book does not appear.
I've got a long road ahead. Oh,
You
curse
can
to
read
put my
Dufay's
hands on
diary.
everything.
And this lets you know that Chamberlain Dufay has figured out what Cazador is doing. And he picked up a potion from the Bone Cloaks, which was going to be feign death, to give him an illusion of death. And then he'll leave behind a lookalike potion of acid poison. So he was going to feign death, make it look like he died. But the way he was going to do that was using Luriana. So he kind of set her up to do it. And she died because of it, all to save himself, basically. And so kind of a tragic story there. But people will do what people will do
Always room for more?
to preserve their own lives. And here in the casket is Chamberlain Dufay. He's a vampire spawn, listed as being dead. You can pull him out of here, drop him on the ground, you can search him, there's nothing in there. Speak with the dead does not work on him.
What am I to do?
Corpse is too damaged. You can't speak with the dead on Luriana either. So it's kind of
What to do?
left up in the air right now as to
Can't slow down.
how well his plan worked out, but it doesn't look like it did. So now we're going to head back out to the main hall and head downstairs, and on the way we find Wilhelm.
What's up for discussion?
Another guest for the Master's celebration. I'm afraid you're too late. You'll have to... Master Astarion? What are you doing here? Why aren't you downstairs?
Well, obviously I'm on my way down now. So if you could just point us in the right direction.
But you're too late. The doors have been sealed. The ritual is about to begin. It's too late. Godi has sealed the doors and will not open them until the ritual is complete.
Cazador gave the key to Godi. And where is this sadistic old sack of bones?
It does not matter. You're too late. The Master will be so angry that you missed the ritual. He will do such terrible, terrible things to you. I do not have any more time to waste. There is too much to do, too much to prepare.
Okay, so now we learn that somebody named Godi has sealed the door there. So we need to find Godi to be able to unseal that door. Now we have a door to a guest room here.
Magic. An old favorite of Cazador's. Best not get too close.
Okay, now a couple of things that we want to do here. The first is we want to start prepping with necrotic resistance. One, because we have necrotic energy happening here, but two, because the fight that we're going to get into with Cazador is heavily dependent upon necrotic damage. And we should have some potions of this lying around. So Shadowheart is going to take one. Gale is... no. Gale is going to take one. And Astarion is going to take one.
Looking ahead.
Now with Shadowheart,
There's no time to waste.
we're going to approach the door here.
Necrotic energy. It's sapping my strength.
Okay, that drops us into turn-based mode. And we're gonna fly in here. We're gonna cast Remove Curse on Victoria. Now we can exit turn-based mode. That, we're only gonna take half damage from that necrotic energy that's in there, which is good. And that casting Remove Curse on Victoria allows us to
No one back home will ever
explore
believe
this room without worrying about
What
her.
path lies before me?
Ah, the bedrooms. Never once slept in.
Okay, so we're gonna put on Astarion's lockpicking gear.
Until Cazador appeared and took them away. No one ever died here, though. Something strange happened to that girl.
And no, I was going to change something on Shadowheart, but I'm not going to. So in here you find the Helmet of Grit. When the wearer has 50% hit points or less, they have an additional bonus action. The Helmet of Grit for your monk builds is actually really, really powerful. In that there is an ability or an illithid power for transfuse health. Sacrifice half your remaining hit points to heal a target for the same amount. So you can use transfuse health on your monk. You can remove exactly 50% of your hit points, which will trigger the Helmet of Grit, and then you're going to gain an additional bonus action. And if you've got the Thief ability from Rogue, or subclass from Rogue, that now gives you 3 bonus actions, all of which you can use with your key points for Flurry of Blows. That means that your alpha potential, your single target damage potential in one round, goes way up. And by the time you've gotten here to Act 3 and you've picked up another item, or you've gone the way that we're going to see today with Astarion, your monk build really becomes a massive damage dealer with this. So the Helmet of Grit in my playthrough here isn't going to do much for me, but it is an extraordinarily powerful item when you pair it with a monk build that is based around bonus action damage. Okay, and again, more clothing, and a bunch of this, like I say, is expensive. Pick it all up.
Another step forward. Something good here, I hope.
And here you have the Cazador Dictionary. If you read it, it tells you that it's what it sounds like. It's a dictionary of the Cazador language. And you find certain words and phrases underlined. Open, enter, beware, forbidden, and sealed.
A dictionary of ancient language. Hardly surprising for a vampire's lair.
And that lets you know that you found a dictionary of the language, and it's the same language that's on the sealed ballroom door. So we probably now have the password to open up ballroom door, but again, 2 things are necessary. We need to find the signet ring. And here's Victoria's note. She's talking about the book. You'll need it to move freely around the palace.
More for me. I need a quick word.
The woman's eyes are alert, verging on manic as she bustles about.
Everything's got to be right for the master. Everything's got to be perfect.
Okay, so another servant in the middle of getting ready for this ritual.
Cleaning. Don't stop cleaning.
Behold, one of Cazador's cheapest tricks. An illusionary master favors poor
Okay, and that's the door to the kennel here. We can go into the dormitory wing first.
Turn us into when displeased.
I must be busy. Busy, busy, busy. Master might see me. Master might approve.
Okay, and here we have the spawn dormitory.
This is where the spawn were kept. When we were getting neither the carrot nor the stick.
And there are various chests around here that you can search. There's more information about the lore behind all of this, about the interactions that the spawns have with each other, but nothing that's absolutely necessary. And this is the bedroom of the favored spawn. Vampires tend to play favorites, and they get special perks. In this case, they get their own room. And here you can see that Leon has been the favored spawn for a while, except for one time when Violet was the spawn. And you're going to learn a little bit more about that here in a minute. Here's Leon's diary. And here is, you learn, I don't like the way Violet looks at her, not at all. When I ask the master what he plans to do with Victoria, Cazador just gives me that wicked smile. So, he was trying to save, it's all part of the vampire intrigue that they play against each other. He was trying to arrange for Victoria to escape. Obviously, Violet didn't allow that to happen because we saw Victoria's body. But at the end, none of them are going to be able to escape because of what Cazador has planned for them. So the last room here is this room here in the middle.
So much to prepare.
As soon as you walk in, if you have the invisibility, you're going to reveal Godi here.
I know you're there, Golly. Stop skulking and show yourself.
You always were sharp, little one. Sharp enough to cut yourself.
It's taking everything I have not to grind your rotten carcass to dust.
Don't be mad at Godi, child. I only did my job. Only kept you in line.
You tortured us. For days at a time.
Oh, yes. And you sang so sweetly for me. None of the others screamed like you did. But you're home now, and you brought me a treat, eh? A new friend for Godi.
Okay, so we have either a deception or intimidation option. We're better at deception here. Actually, I'm going to pick the intimidation option. I just don't like what deception has here.
Not very nice. Not very friendly. Why are you here then, little one, if not to see Godi?
We're here to see the master. But the ballroom door's locked. Give us the key.
No, it is too late. The doors are sealed on Master's orders. Godi will not open them for anyone, much less for you.
Okay, so here we have a persuasion option. It's a little bit higher than the previous one, so I'm going to add in guidance. Oof.
The Master will not be disobeyed. You will not open that door.
Okay, so Godi has become hostile here. This is actually the first time I've fought Godi, actually. Because, yeah, I have a horrible roll there on persuasion. You don't get another opportunity to pass it. So he's vulnerable to bludgeoning damage and immune to poison, but he's not immune to necrotic. And it only seems fitting that Astarion would be the one to finish Godi off. Here you're going to get the Szarr family ring. This is the signet ring that they talked about. If you pass the persuasion check, Godi will give it to you. You also have the key to the kennel here and some various other items.
There's an inscription on the ring. Looks like the same language as that book from earlier. To prepare.
And yes, that ring is matching the language on the door. Hey, Lord Henry, welcome.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Okay, so there are a few things that you can search in here. I don't think there's much of anything in here.
Don't mind if I do.
Some crafting supplies. Okay, and now we have everything we need here out of the lower floor. So we're going to head back up here, and I'm going to ungroup everybody.
No one stopped me yet. On my way. Let's see.
The door remains sealed, with naught to see but strange writing and a small hollow. Looking closer, you recognize the writing. It's the same Cazador script from the dictionary you found. The ring slots perfectly into place, and the door swings open.
Okay, now I don't want to go in there. I'm going to move back down here where I was. Don't go into hiding because Wilhelm here just keeps patrolling around and he'll just keep knocking you out of hiding. But I am going to take Shovel up into this room. Okay, now in here are a bunch of giant rats, a few werewolves, and a couple of large direwolves. Okay, and Garrus here is in charge of all of this. Now you can talk to Garrus if you want, but there's nothing you can do or say here to avoid a fight. So I'm not going to try and avoid a fight. I am going to go generate a surprise round.
No mumbling, no talk to Leon.
Okay.
Master favors wolf, not rat.
I guess because I one-shot it. Okay. So you don't get a surprise round on either of the two wolves. Okay, but we have survived here. And now looks like we do have maybe a pathway to get in there. But we need to time things around Wilhelm here. So here he comes.
Tonight he ascends.
Breathe quiet.
We shall see his
Move with care. Never wanted the easy path.
Perfect, and we're in here. Oh, I would also... Let's see if we can remove him. That would remove a huge detection cone from this side.
I can't waste any more time.
Oh, jeez. I want to smite here because I'm not next in the initiative order. So that will remove him out of it entirely. And now we'll move in here with Astarion and see where the detection cones fall.
This way.
Neither seen nor heard.
Tonight he ascends.
Quietly.
Yeah, because see, that removed a huge chunk of detection cones from this room. And remember, Astarion's going to be getting crits here. On anybody who's surprised. And he's got advantage on anybody who has not taken a turn yet. So let's the two wolves offer up a savage howl. That gives everybody 20 temporary hit points around them. So let's see what we can do here with initiative order. So White Mist did not howl. Bloodfang did. So as soon as we end the turn here with him, we'll see what options we have with him moving around the field. I don't know where Wilhelm goes.
I'll take this way. Mustn't let anyone
Bless us,
see.
Master.
Need to tread
May
softly.
we be one.
Okay, so we should be fine sneaking around behind him. Now, the giant rats
Nothing
are
fun in my way.
hostile. They just don't have detection cones around them. Same thing with the bats.
My faith protects me.
So having Shadowheart cast Spirit Guardians in here could be very useful.
I see a way.
Actually, I want to wait though,
Ready
because I
and
think I have another plan for her. So we'll wait for Wilhelm to come around behind us.
Not this again. Yes.
Everything. Perfect.
Trying not to waste too much action economy here, because I am absolutely going to need it for Cazador's fight. Okay, and I'm going to leave Shadowheart out of it for a second here. Okay, so now with me, let's see if we can go about removing some more detection cones. So we should be able to get rid of Bloodfang here. Okay, that opens up an attack with my bonus action. We don't need to Divine Smite, but we might as well. See if I can just get rid of Blaze here. Still have a little bit of movement left. Not enough. That should be enough to threaten him. It is.
Let's turn someone inside out.
Okay, so now Astarion, remember, is going to be crit festing all of this.
Time to move.
Let's try and get rid of White Mist first. Well, no, let's get rid of Garrus first. That way, if White Mist moves, he's got 2 attacks of opportunity to deal with. These are all crits. Okay, what was the lag there? Alright. And now, what do I have left for detection codes? Not this one. Just the bat. Okay.
One can't always be a gentleman.
Gale's going to move in here.
Of course.
We just end his turn, but before we do,
Can't afford any mistakes.
we'll bring Shadowheart in here. Just gonna upcast Spirit Guardians here because I want to keep another level 3 spell slot. And that just leaves my my Paladin outside. We'll go invisible here to avoid attacks from the rats.
Shall we cut and run?
Nothing important is ever easy.
I speak, they burn.
This is good.
All right.
What's next, I wonder?
So easy enough. Now, there's nothing on any of them here.
A long way to go
We
still.
can, however,
The
speak
corpse
with the dead.
remains silent.
Okay, that was weird. Oh, it's this one over here. My fault.
Better get to work.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Politicians, minor nobles, fist officers, all sorts. Information asked so many questions. Power structures in city, weaknesses, who he needed to control. Wolves arrived when our host left, slaughtered us. West Door took most beautiful people away, never saw again. Enjoying party, drinking, talking.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
So as we learned down in the sewers,
What now?
when we found somebody who was awaiting somebody to come pick her up for the party, there were a bunch of people that showed up to this party, and None of them left. Okay. So, and these are part of the invitations that went along with this. So, vampires being vampires and doing vampire-y things. But there's a reason behind why they were doing this, and you're going to find out more about that as we go through this.
Don't waste a step.
Okay, and again, you're not going to find anything on any of the bats or rats or any of the wolves or werewolves here. You know, I've actually never flipped this lever. Ah, that closes the door. Okay, that's why I've never closed it, never needed to. Okay, now you have 3 ways out of here. This one is open. This one is closed. And then you have this door here, which is ultimately where we're going to end up going. But first you can do a bunch of searching in here.
Anything of use?
There's a whole bunch of supplies and that sort of stuff in here normally. Pick up. However, you're going to pass a perception check here, but there's a button. You don't need to pass it. And this button does a couple of things, but first we're going to take the iron ladder up. Okay, and now we have another door here, which is closed. But there's a button on the wall. Okay, so a bunch more mahogany caskets that you can search. Like I've mentioned previously, you're going to find a lot of clothing and jewelry and that sort of stuff in here. So if you're short on gold, be sure to pick it all up.
Here goes nothing.
Okay, now here in the second room, again, just more searching that you could do. But you start seeing more about the vampire's handiwork here. Cages all over the place. Dead bodies, skeletons, all of that sort of stuff is just strewn all throughout this place. And here, behind that crate is a button. As you follow this down, feel free to search whatever you want here. What we're looking for is down toward the other end of this place. And that's this ladder here. And you see that someone's been living up here. And here's a wooden chest. Inside here's a scroll of stone skin and a pouch that has a silver key in it. And that's what we needed. So now we can feel free to head back out of here. And now, I'm going to bring everybody out of here, except for one.
I'm ready. Let's try this way.
And that person is going to hit the button here. That's going to close this door, but open this one.
Never a dull moment. Have to keep going.
And now there's another button in here. Which will close this door. And open this door. So now I can bring Shadowheart out of here. Bring her over. We will hit the button again.
Still alive, so that's progress.
That's going to open this door up, and now Shadowheart can join us. Okay, so a little bit of a button puzzle trick there.
I bet that'll fit in my pack. I need to find a way forward.
Okay, there's the invitation where you learn that she was a bard. She was brought in to play requests, and obviously things didn't work out very well.
Open up.
And then the opulent chest. And here you have a counting house safe #1 key. Again, you're going to be collecting more and more of these throughout your adventure in the lower city. So we'll keep an eye on them, and we'll see how many of them we end up with at the end. Now, one thing here that you may have missed is there's something underneath the opulent chest. There's a hatch here. That hatch is locked, but that is what the silver key that we picked up from the attic is for. All right. And now down here, you get introduced to the mechanics of making your way through here. Now, this is a dwarven ruin, actually, buried underneath Baldur's Gate. And Cazador has been in control of it for a long time now. So, as expected, you would think that there's going to be some mechanisms or some tricks to moving around in a dwarven area. And that is no different here.
How delicious.
So take this metal crate and put it on this pressure plate, and it clicks.
Quick step.
Now you want to make sure that there are no traps around before you do this, because those same mechanisms will activate traps. There are no traps in this room. So there we go. Very similar to what we had to do in the Blighted Village, with sitting two people on the two different chairs to open up the door. That's the mechanism behind this. But again, you want to be aware of any traps before you do that. And as such, we have her Shadowheart equipped with the shield to give advantage on perception checks. Okay, there's a vent. There's another one. Now there are two more, the gargoyle heads on either side, but they're already discovered. You don't need to perceive them.
Someone there.
So now with Astarion, still have all my
Let's move.
disarming kit on. And we're actually going to add in Mark of the Shifter here, because some of these can get a little sporty. See, some of these could get a little interesting. Oh, fail. Rolled 2 1s down here. The good thing, though, is that as long as the traps are not activated, you don't have to worry about them going off if you're dealing with the gargoyle heads. The vents, not so much. Okay. So now we can take some time here. Once you click there, this gargoyle head will activate, and it will start spewing fireballs at this metal trunk. And that will open this door over here. Okay, whoops, I forgot. It's going to also close that one. I need to get everybody out of that room first. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing with Shadowheart again.
Onward then.
Okay, and we're going to be a little careful when maneuvering Shadowheart around here. Because, again, we have a gargoyle head here facing this way. Another one here facing this way. And we have a vent trap here. And there are the two pressure plates. You don't want to step on those.
Well, hello. Step lightly.
Okay, so let's go disarm this gargoyle head. No. No, Astarion. That was my fault. That was not the game pathing. It went Google Maps and decided to give me the shortest path, and even though it's not the best path. Okay, now that both of those are done, we can move up in here and get rid of the vent. And again, be careful walking around in here. I think I passed it this time. Yes, roll the 4 in there, so I'm fine. Okay. So, the opulent chest is locked here.
For a skeleton key.
The DC on it is 25. And now you can see the chest is open. Okay, so those two basically unlock the chest. You can pick it if you'd like, you just don't have to. Okay, there's normally a really good scroll in here. A black diamond, that's really nice. And you have Dawson Kiltmaker's Confession. There's nothing special about this. It's just a one of Cazador's victims. He was he confessed all of his sins, and some of them are interesting, but not overly informative about anything that's going on. Okay, and that's it for this room. There's nothing down this way and nowhere else to go, so we can make our way back into here, remove this metal crate, and head back up.
Wonder if the gods are watching me. Let's see what this does.
Okay, and now we're going to go toward the only other exit out of the ballroom, and that's this office hall door here. Okay, now in here we have a dais, which we're going to go see here in a second. But we can make our way into Cazador's office here. And there's a party planner here, basically about preparations for this party that they put together. again, a whole bunch of stuff you can pick up. I don't need it all. Let's make our way back to the dais. And you can click on it.
You stand on a clean metal platform. A beautiful but antiquated elevator. There are some scuffs to show its age, signs of things dragged onto it over the years. But it seems to be in good working order.
Okay, now we're in the dungeon itself, and there's a waypoint here. So it's more of the same, kind of.
There is work to do.
And you'll kind of see what I mean by that as we go here. So
Got to keep
there's nothing special about this particular door. There's a chasm creeper out here we can loot. And you can see the rest of this open area here. Down here, we want to make our way down here for at least a few of our characters.
What in the hells? I never knew any of this was here.
Okay, you can see we've got a crypt gate up here. It's got some sort of magical entombing clot on it. There's nothing special about this.
Worth a
Let me go to
shot.
this side first. Okay. And again, nothing really special about that. You'll see here in a second. Okay, this door is right above here, and this is how we're going to initially enter this location. If you click on the door,
Just like the door to the ballroom upstairs, this door features no keyhole, but does have an indentation for a signet ring. The ring slots perfectly into place, and the door opens, assailing you with pungent, musty air.
okay, and inside this room,
Is that blood? No,
you can see that we have some eternally bound people in here on this side, and on this side we have some more, but these are children.
Your eyes don't look right,
Okay.
Chester.
And we're going to go deal with them
Never wanted the
here
easy path.
in a little bit. For now, I want to make my way through this room. And again, another way down below us, which we're going to be dealing with.
Just like the door to the ballroom upstairs, this door features no keyhole, but does have an indentation for a signet ring. The ring slots perfectly into place, and the door opens, assailing you with pungent, musty air.
Okay. And now we get into this room up here. Okay, now there are a couple of ways to kind of maneuver around here. You can see down below us we have that whole room set that we were talking about. Over here, there's a chandelier that's going to become part of our explorations here in a minute. Okay, but first, I believe this is an Arcana check.
You're a long way from Waterdeep.
No, it's not. No, it's not. This is Wisdom.
next?
And it's a saving throw, I think. So I didn't prep for it. I don't think I have the safeguard shield anymore. It's been a long time since I've needed it. Yeah, I don't have it anymore. We did not get the Ring of Protection on this playthrough. So we'll take our chances with this. It doesn't matter if we fail these or not. We end up getting the scroll at the end anyway. But yeah, we do have resistance here. So let's let Shadowheart go through this. She, by far, I'm sure, has the best wisdom saving throws. Yeah, she's got a plus 12 to her saving throws. So, followed closely by me. Oh, because of Sweetstone features. Oh, I see. The Cloak of Protection and Balduran's Favor are also there. So, yes, I can swap out Balduran's Favor to her and the Cloak of Protection as well. Temporarily. That should give her a 14. Yes, to her saving throws. So we'll let Shadowheart go through this.
On the pillow rests a skull with a scroll clamped in its bony jaws. The skull's empty eye sockets flare with an eldritch gleam. You feel invited somehow to witness the skull's memories. It seems urgent. This skull is all that remains of the vampire Velioth. He turned Cazador, gave him the gift, and then taught him the rules of vampiric existence.
Okay, so here's our first wisdom check here. Oh, these are just wisdom checks, not saving throws. Okay. So she was going to be by far the best. She has forbidden knowledge as well. So, yeah, I should have... I forgot these are I thought they were saving throws and not checks, so that's my fault. I could have added Mark of the Shifter onto this. Owl's Wisdom's a level 2 spell. Might as well give myself advantage.
Velioth's first lesson is always to dominate. Allow none to be your equal. Velioth recalls when Cazador reached out to a former friend. His punishment was to watch as Velioth drained his friend dry.
Our first nat 20.
Velioth's second lesson is that power comes from solitude. To share with others is to be weak, and to be weak is to fail and die. Velioth recalls when Cazador rebelled against him. Cazador suffered 11 years of impalement because he failed.
11 years of impalement. That's, not cool. But vampires will be vampires.
Velioth's third lesson is to act not in haste. A near immortal has time to plan, time to act only when others will pay the price of action. Velioth recalls Cazador, his lessons learned, killing him in the rite of perfect slaughter. How they both laughed. Velioth recalls Cazador boiling the flesh from his skull, and then, to mock him, clamping his schooling scroll in Velioth's jaws. The skull's eyes flash a final time, and its jaws sag open. The scroll with all of Cazador's rituals is yours. Velioth is no more.
Okay, and that gets you the Black Mass Scroll. And the Black Mass Scroll, there's nothing in particular about it. You can read it, and it tells you about the different, or about the rite of profane ascension that we are going through. So, pact has been made with the Lord of Hellfire. Deliver unto him 7,000 souls, each bearing an infernal mark, and you shall be free of your chains. You shall know true power. Deliver the souls, speak the words, Ecce Dominus, Has animus offero in sacrificio, nunc volto potestatem quam policitus es mihi. And we're going to see those words repeated as we go through what we're about to do. And that advances the Pale Elf. It lets you know that he plans to sacrifice thousands of souls, including Astarions, to ascend and gain incredible power. That's a scroll listing all of the names of the multiple thousands of
I'll grab that.
victims that are going to be sacrificed.
I must keep going.
Okay, and now we're going to make our way downstairs. Now, this can get, if you're in honor mode, I would probably not recommend that you go down there for a specific reason. And
This way. What do we have
we're
here?
going to take Shadowheart down here first, and we're going to start down here at this end. Getting down there is easy. Getting back up is a little bit more difficult. Okay, nothing down here at this end. Don't step into the pools. They have a caustic brine in them.
What's that?
And there's the dark mount. Okay, now there is a trap here.
Tread carefully.
And inside here is the Pelarson Blade. Now, this is a rapier, so it's a single-handed finesse dexterity-based weapon. It's got a +1 roll. However, there are two things about this that make it important. First, it does an additional 1d4 radiant damage just by itself. That's just part of what it does. Radiant damage, as you can expect, is going to be fairly important throughout encounters with the undead. And then the second thing is Undead Bane. Attack rolls with this weapon have advantage against undead. And that is going to be very, very useful. Cazador is hard to hit. He has a high armor class, and he has a higher armor class because of how we're going to choose to play that fight. So we're actually going to equip that on Astarion for now. Our goal in this fight is going to be a little different in how we play this. Okay, and now for Shadowheart, I'm gonna take her through here. And now again, we're right below where we were with the rest of our group, or where we are with the rest of our group. And again, don't step in the middle. There's a chandelier there. Scroll of Eye Bite. That's nice. We're actually probably going to see Eye Bite come into play.
Might find something useful.
Against us here in a little bit. Okay, we'll come back to that with Astarion.
Keep a blade close. On my way.
Here on the ground, you learn about Szarr. She was the one who found all of these dwarven tunnels here, and kind of took over them. And then Cazador, her son, took over at some point and has maintained ownership of all of these. There's a button here on the wall which is going to activate this thing. We're not going to do that just yet.
A crooked touch.
Okay, this is a DC 30. We don't have to pick this. And actually, now I can't remember... Oh, that's Cazador's key. Cazador's dungeon key. I think I've missed it. Trying to remember where it is. Yeah, I can't remember where it is. What this does is, and we can try and pick it. It's a DC 30. That's probably a fail, unless I rolled really, really well. And I did. And I roll really, really well. And I did. Okay. this, when you open it up, leads to the Gloomy Ascent. I don't know if you remember, but inside the sewers, we actually came down to a blank wall that had a symbol above the door. And this is exactly where that leads. This leads you out into the lower sewers. This can be important because you can actually skip an encounter on your way out of here by exiting this way. We're not going to. We're going to let this whole thing play out in all of its glory, so to speak. But you can avoid an encounter by going that way. Now, I can't remember which side it's on. So I'm going to fly up to here. And there's a metal trunk here. And then I'm going to fly up to here.
What's next, I wonder?
Okay, if you don't have fly, this button
Let's see.
starts this chandelier or this cage moving up and down. When it gets down, you can jump onto it, ride it up, and jump off of it. If you're in honor mode, don't do that. That platform is one of those moving, glitched out platforms. You can see it takes you up to here, and then you can jump out of here. But as honor mode, you do not want to jump on that thing. You will glitch into it, half the time, and you'll end up getting stuck. And your honor mode playthrough is hosed. So you definitely do not want to
No time to rest.
to go out that way.
Moving ahead.
Make sure you've got the fly spell or a potion or something like that for everybody who you decide to take down there if you have not unlocked the fly Illithid ability. So now we're going to make our way into this room here. We're going to get a couple of cutscenes.
Approaching the cells, you're met with hollow-eyed faces. There's an almost physical stink of decay and neglect.
Disgusting. Cazador never fed on wretches like this. How did they get here? What is Cazador doing with them? I should have guessed there was more to it than Raphael would ever have told.
You. I know you. You're the one from the tavern. You smiled and joked and got me drunk.
No. You're dead.
You called me so many sweet things. My name sounded like a lyric on your tongue.
Sebastian.
You remember me.
You were handsome. Shy. You'd never been kissed.
You taught me how. And then you destroyed me.
It can't be. It's not just him. I know so many of these faces. They're my conquests. I pursued them, seduced them, then brought them to Cazador. He told us he was feeding on them, but he turned them to spawn. He turned every last one, so we'd have souls for this cursed ritual.
How long?
What?
How long have I been down here?
170 years. You were one of my first.
My family. My friends. They're gone. You took them from me. You took everything from me. There's no escape. No escape for us. And no escape for you, Astarion. This nightmare never ends, and it's your fault! You did this, damn you! I damn you to the hells! I damn you to misery! I damn you!
Okay. This questline was never going to be pleasant. Just the general nature behind vampires in the Forgotten Realms, it was never going to be easy to deal with. You just never really learned the extent of it until now. I remember the first time I saw this cutscene, it was jarring, to say the least. The depth of the writing here that went into this is incredible. We've now gotten Curse of the Sired. Cursed by a victim he brought to Cazador many years ago, Astarion receives disadvantage on all saving throws. We can't get rid of that.
Gods above. He kept Sebastian. I should have known what Cazador was capable of. Ah, he's played us for such fools. And not just 7 spawn to placate the devil. 7 spawn and 7,000 souls bound to them in blood. Everyone, whoever trusted me enough to let down their guard, innocents, idiots, and the unlucky. It doesn't matter. I will need to sacrifice them all if I want to perform the ritual. Thank you. Yes. This will all be over soon. It's just sickening. Seeing them again. I don't know what else.
Okay, and now we're going to go over and interact with the other side here.
Oh, cursed to put my hands on everything.
Hey! Hey, you! Come closer.
Oh, God. It can't be.
It is you. I knew it. I'll kill you. Once I get out of here, I'll kill you! Camp. Monster hunters. The Gur camp. Oh gods! My parents' camp! Chessa, focus! Resist the beast inside you. You promised! It's your fault! You did this to us! Didn't he tell you? He's the one that kidnapped us. He's the reason we're spawns. I'll kill you!
Yes. Now that you, mention it, I may have done that. Don't look at me like that. Cazador's orders. Quite the deviation from my usual routine, of course. Capture, not lure. I didn't bring them in with sweet rolls or anything. I really forgot about them. Felt nothing the moment I handed them over to him. Oh. I suppose there's a good chance they will. What use is it, though? They're lost. Ravenous. feral. They'd attack any mortal on sight. All these people were ruined because of me.
I hope he finds you and trains you to a husk!
Well, that could have gone better.
Okay, and now you see even more the depth of what we're into here. Again, Astarion as a character is intense. He's been happy-go-lucky, so to speak, with some hinted at dark sides to him, but now his character is much more fully fleshed out. And things have really started to take a turn. And hey, Vice Admiral Gene, welcome. Thanks for being here. And yes, this is one of those things that definitely can inform a choice.
I don't know.
Later on, or earlier on in your playthrough, about how you deal with Astarion. Because as a character, like I say, there's a depth of bad decision making that we're just now getting to see a part of. We also have to realize that some of it is because he is a slave to Cazador. He cannot disobey Cazador even if he wanted to. So, like I say, things are a little bit bad. And yes, like Lord Henry just mentioned, Astarion doesn't have a choice here. This is he is a slave in every way to Cazador. But like I say, if you step back from the role-playing aspect of it and you just look purely at the writing aspect of it, it's amazing. It's amazing. So there are a couple of things that I want to do here before we go through the door in front of us. Want to get a level 3 spell slot back.
Yours neither.
And then I also want to look at this. Gets me a level 2 back. This gets me a level 4. So there's nothing for level 3. I'd prefer to get one more of those back, but I have a scroll of remove curse. We're going to cast that on Astarion. That's going to remove his Curse of the Sired.
Still alive. So that's
okay.
progress.
And now heading down into this room. So this is where the Cazador fight is going to happen. Now this fight is no joke, and there are two different ways you can play this out depending upon how you want the outcome to go. The way that we're going to play this out is arguably the hardest possible way to do it. And I think it's meant to be the hardest possible way to do it because of the reward that you get on the back end of it. So we're going to go down there, and we're going to go down with Astarion. And before I do this, I'm going to drop a save. The reason for that is that there's the cutscene down here, how we're going to play it can be a little glitchy, and it's supposed to not continue anything after the cutscene ends, but sometimes it will, and if it does, I'm going to have to reload it. So
That's a friendly-looking shadow.
we're going to break the group apart, and we're going to take Astarion down here.
Watch the shadows.
By himself.
Who stands before us? Is this truly our prodigal son? Do not slouch before me, boy. Have you no respect for yourself? Look at you, crawling back after abandoning your family. You should be begging our forgiveness.
Forgiveness? You've never forgiven anything. Every mistake, every slip was punished.
I strove for perfection in all things, even those as imperfect as you. A pity you amounted to so little, despite my efforts.
No! No. Fuck you. And fuck everything you've ever done to me!
Oh, thankless child. Did I not bless you with our immortal gift? Did I not make you what you are?
You son of a bitch.
You truly forgot my power. You truly thought our bond as creator and creation was all that stopped you from killing me. You are weak, my child. You are a small, pathetic little boy who never amounted to anything. But today, you will finally do something worthwhile. You will burn, and I will ascend.
Okay, and now I'm going to head down here. While Astarion's in here, I'm going to head down here and get myself into combat.
Our ritual is near completion. Profane power.
Okay, so that ended up not going how I wanted it to, so... Okay, so I don't have it. There it is. I'm going to drink this temporarily.
Should mind my step. I don't need any attention right now. Don't waste a step.
This is not going to work. Okay, so that didn't work at all how I wanted. So Astarion's dead. Why is he... Oh. I know why. And I didn't click it in time. Everything is going wrong. Well, this has been an interesting playthrough. A very interesting playthrough. Okay, so Astarion's dead. He's absolutely dead. There's nothing to do about him. He has been sacrificed in to give Cazador his ascension. Okay. Now, because of that, he has become the Sinister Lord. Right, with the ritual complete, Cazador is ascended. His movement speed's permanently increased. His armor class is increased by 5, and the damage of his attacks and spell increases by 7 to 70 necrotic damage. And he regains 100 hit points. And he's got legendary resistance, so he has a +10 bonus to his next saving throw. And he's got a lot of stuff. He's got improved extra attacks and all sorts of stuff to go along with this. So at the end of the day, we need to focus Cazador. That's just what we have to do here. And I didn't even take a short rest. Oh my Lord have mercy. I can't explain to you how badly I've messed this up. So we're going to fly here, and we're going to take every opportunity attack that goes along with it. And I'm paralyzed. This may actually be a party wipe, everyone. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. Because I think I know what I want to do.
It's closer to that.
Okay, let's head down here. Do I have better over here? Possibly. I think I do. So let's head over here.
Yes. The coward's route. My pleasure.
Okay, so nope, the bat is there. Cazador was hidden behind here, so I don't have any better access from here.
Got to focus.
So much will depend on the results of this. Okay. Can't counterspell that.
Gone with the weave.
See if I get paralyzed here.
I'm ready.
There's a very specific way I'm hoping this plays out. And it just isn't. Is it glitched? Okay. Something weird happened there.
Unleash me.
Oh, I didn't look at his resistances. So he's resistant to necrotic, but nothing else. What happened there? Okay. Well, him saving is actually annoying. So, I wonder if he's glitched.
Let me recite their demise.
That was a weird detection, or a weird impact cone there.
Concentrate. On I go.
Tale for the ages.
now he's back.
These mortals be.
Lord Henry, not with his not with Cazador's healing ability, no. He heals 100 hit points every turn.
Creator, destroyer.
Actually, I want to do this instead.
No gloom, all doom. Onward.
I'm left with a dilemma here, chat. I am left with a dilemma. Actually, I'm not. I know what I'm gonna do. Darn, I party wiped. Guess we'll have to load our previous save. So, I realized as soon as it went bad at the start that there were two ways I can end that fight very, very easily on balance mode. On balance mode, Cazador does not come back from being knocked off the cliff. I could have knocked him off of that cliff a long time ago by just walking right up to him with Gale while he was not in combat, getting up behind him and just thunder waving him off. And the fight would have been over. However, that would have missed out on illustrating something that I think is more important. So I deliberately engineered a party wipe so that I would be back here where I'm at. So some of you may consider that cheating, and I certainly understand it. However, I think being able to illustrate this, the way that we're about to go about this, is a little bit, or is quite a bit better than going through the rest of this played out the way that it was playing out there. So I'm going to...
My faith will guide me.
All right. What now?
Going to split this here and going to go back down again. Now, before I go down, I'm going to play this a different way.
Moving in.
Than I normally would, and because of that, I'm going to take a bunch of this stuff and put it in a bag. So give me just a second to clear some of this out. And sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. Give me just a second to finish this up. And I will certainly respond. Okay. So, yes, I'm going to go through all of the stuff that I missed out on here, which was definitely taking a short rest. Astarion not being in his lock-picking gear doesn't matter as much, and you'll kind of see why here in a second.
Let's move.
But yes, I certainly will. No reason not to. And I'm changing out to an Elixir of Vigilance.
With haste.
With my Paladin. I'm going to take my Paladin and Astarion down here both at the same time this time.
Who stands before us?
And we've seen this before.
Look at you, crawling back after a bat.
Forgiveness. Every mistake.
I strove for a pity you amount.
No! No.
They told me you had changed. Oh, thank
you, son of a...
You truly forgot my power. You truly thought our bond as creator and creation was all that stopped you from killing me? But today, you...
No! Stop him! Get me out of this!
Witness the birth of the Vampire Ascendant! Ecce Dominus! Fight on if you must, but I am only growing stronger!
Okay, I expected that. I have one cast of Psychic Dominance there to remove that. Okay, so now me. So, Cazador here, because of how we're choosing to do this, he has 7 ritual sources. Each one of the vampire spawns that are around the outside, out here, are a ritual source for him. So his movement is increased by 7 meters, he's got 70 temporary hit points, and his attacks and spells deal an additional 7 to 70 necrotic damage. Okay? So he's also getting some specific things from a few people. So from Yusin, he's getting 2d8 hit points every turn. That's much better than 100 every turn. From Violet, he has an additional 5 to his armor class. And because of Astarion, he has an additional bonus action. Okay? Now he's turned into mist form, so he's immune to all non-magical damage. That's important to know, is that it is non-magical damage. Okay? Magical damage, he can still be hit by it all day long. So with Shadowheart,
Off I go.
we're going to see how far down here we can get. We rolled really well on initiative, so I'm hoping we can get down here and cast Daylight. On Cazador. Because it said that the Misty Form effect was removed by Daylight. We have Daylight here. Okay, and I'm going to cast it right here. Cover as much of the ground as I can. Okay, now that's going to do a couple of things. One, it brought him out of Misty Form. But 2, he's now got sunlight hypersensitivity. So he's going to take 20 radiant damage on his next turn because he's starting his turn inside of sunlight. Okay? But
Still on my feet.
let's see if he even gets a second turn or not. Now remember, he's got a 21 armor class here. So this is going to be hard to deal with. And also remember, I don't have my Elixir of Cloud Giant Strength anymore. So what I'm going to do is... this is going to take my bonus action.
One day I'll catch a break.
Okay, now he's down to a 75% chance to hit. Okay.
Such a long way down.
And now with Gale, I want to get down here and look at something. Honestly, I don't know how they're working. I think I might be able to make it work. Okay, so I'm going to bring Gale down here. I'm going to fly him up to here. Okay, and then I'm going to fly him over here. Now Now here's where I run into the problem, I think. Because I think I'm going to have to cross a detection cone to get back here. But we'll see. Oh, and I passed my hide check. What do you know? So I can help Astarion. Okay, so now Astarion is back in the fight here with us. Cazador is going to get another turn. We didn't have enough to kill him on that turn, but we'll see how we do next turn now that we've got other people in the fight here as well.
What's the plan?
And for Shadowheart, let's actually see. She has necrotic resistance. My Paladin does not.
Still breathing, despite everything.
Dash is good. Knocking them all prone is good because it used up half their movement. Which wizard is Gale? He's not evocation. Oh, that's right, he's abjuration. Planning out how the rest of this turn is going to go. Because Chatterteeth is going to be a problem. He always is. But I think what I'm going to do is try and haste Astarion. Well, not try. I will haste Astarion. It's just going to be whether or not Chatterteeth hits me or not. That's going to be the thing that decides if the haste is going to stick. See what happens with eye bite here. If he lands it on Gale, Gale doesn't save this, he's gonna fall asleep. And he did.
You are going to suffer for everything you did to me.
So that makes Astarion skip his turn,
Death will not
because he
save
immediately went lethargic.
you. You will not partake in the ritual.
So,
Your corpse will.
Swift as my feet can go. Hope your soul is in good hands.
Talk to me.
just a little bit short. That left him with 1 hit point. Nice.
Another fight. Let's go.
Sorry I was a little quiet during all of that. I wanted to make sure I was optimizing what I was doing during that. So things could have went a lot easier, except for, like I had mentioned, I saw it coming. Chatterteeth, he casts Eye Bite. He does it every time. Gale saved against it like 5 times in a row during the during the reset fight, and then he failed his very first encounter with it here. And I knew it was taking a chance when I cast Haste on Astarion, but if I would have been able to get Haste to land, Astarion would have been the one to kill him on his next turn. So now we're going to talk to Astarion here. And, well, actually, we're going to interact with the sarcophagus first.
No healing sleep for you. Wake up!
Get your hands off me, worm!
I'm not the one in the dirt. One last thrust, and I'll be free of you. I'll never have to fear you again. But if I finish the ritual you started, I'll never have to fear anyone. Ever.
You think me a fool? That I would allow anyone to usurp me, speak the words, and ascend in my place? The runes I carved into your flesh bind you and all 7,000 souls to the ritual. Complete it, and those bearing the scars will be sacrificed, you included. You are simply a means to an end. I made you to be consumed.
I am so much more than what you made me. I can do this, but I need your help. I need your eyes, in a manner of speaking.
What do you think you are doing?
Unmaking what you made me. Use the parasite. Link your mind to mine. Through your eyes, I can see the scars on my back, and copy them onto his.
You would not dare!
I would. And I will. You will be consumed, and all the power you've lusted after will be mine.
That power isn't worth so many lives. Trust me.
Help me do this. Please.
Your minds join and your two selves become one. You can feel the knife in your hand, see the scars on his back, and taste his hunger for power.
Yes. Yes. I see it.
What are you doing? Don't! Ah! No! No! No!
Trigger warning. Might want to look away.
There. Perfect.
Ungrateful child! Wretched child!
Time to take your place. Dominus. Has animas offero in sacrificio.
Some destinies require sacrifice. Do as you must.
I can feel it. I can feel their power flowing into me. Nunc volo potestantem quam policitus es mihi. That ache in my stomach, that hunger, it's gone. I'm free. I'm finally free. Oh, it feels delicious. I think the answer to that is whatever they damn well please. Come on, let's get out of here. I have a brand new world to explore.
Okay,
Looks
so
like I've lost something.
as is the norm for this playthrough, the road less traveled. We ended up going down a particular road a very long time ago that started with Shadowheart, and it now continues on with Astarion. But at the end of the day, hearing Shadowheart's comment there, it's very much in line with the feeling that she had while she was on the path to become a Dark Justiciar. It's very much in line with his path to become the Vampire Ascendant. These are both of those choices that have been made in this playthrough have obviously been a way that you wouldn't normally see played out, and this is the playthrough for doing that. So I think it was good for everyone to be able to see it, and that's why, looking back, this is why I arranged the party wipe, is because I thought it much more important for everybody to be able to see this during this playthrough. Now, consequences of this. The first is
What now?
obviously Astarion. He is now the Vampire Ascendant. That comes with two things. He gets Ascendant Bite and Gaseous Form. So he now has a much more potent bite ability. It does 6d6 necrotic damage, and it heals you for 6d6 healing. So it's a monster. It hits a lot harder than his normal vampire bite, and it can still give you the happy trait if the target is humanoid. And as always, biting a creature does not break stealth. So I can utilize this in some very interesting ways going forward. It also comes with Misty Escape or Gaseous Form. I can do this once per short rest as a bonus action. It's exactly what it is. Just like the spell Gaseous Form. However, there's one other thing that comes with being the Vampire Ascendant. And that is, you also have 1d10 necrotic damage bonus to weapon and unarmed attack rolls. So, now if I look at this, my radiant damage blade now has 1d10 necrotic damage. along with it. Okay, now if I change that out, remember, Duelist Prerogative comes with necrotic damage in and of itself. If I put that on, you see the necrotic damage cannot stack with other necrotic damage. So the 1d10 is not showing up there. I actually haven't tested it to see if it actually does proc when I use Duelist Prerogative, and it just is a visual bug that it doesn't show up there. But in the past with other weapons, multiple instances of the same type of damage do not stack. And unfortunately, it doesn't use the 1d10 from his Vampire Ascendant. It's showing the 1d4. Now, I'm probably going to play around with this a little bit off stream and see if it's actually proccing or not. But I'll kind of let that go. But those are the things that come along with being the Vampire Ascendant. And remember, it's not just weapon attacks, but also unarmed attacks. So for your Vampire Ascendant open hand monk build, oh boy. His offhand attacks his unarmed attacks can have a lot of damage riders that go along with them. And I'm not going to explain the full differences between damage source as a damage rider and damage riders. But suffice to say that the damage that you get from Vampire Ascendant is a damage source as a damage rider. So it's going to proc all of your damage riders twice. So the Vampire Ascendant open hand monk is... open hand tavern brawler monk is just a beast, and it is more than capable of dealing out more than 250 hit points of damage in a single turn, depending upon your build. So we're not going to have that here. We've taken Astarion a different way, but he's still going to benefit from the 1d10 necrotic damage as we go through this. The other thing that you may have noticed, the eagle-eyed among you, is that my Paladin has broken his oath. You will break your oath as a Paladin for any of the 3 types of Paladin if you let Astarion ascend. Just like I broke my oath when Shadowheart killed the Night Song. Here it's the exact same thing. So I can either embrace being an oath breaker again, or I can pay, I think it's 3,000 gold now, to be able to get my oath back. Because I think this is the 3rd time. But right now, as an oath breaker, I cannot use any of my channel oath charges anymore. All this stuff is grayed out just because I don't have any spell slots left. I used them all up Divine Smiting Cazador. But none of my channel oath charges would be available to me in this state. So that meant Inquisitor's Might and things like that I'm not going to be able to utilize until I decide what I want to do with my oath. The last thing that goes along with this, and we'll talk to Astarion here quickly.
This is it. The hopeless dream dreamt by all of my kind. I am the greatest vampire to ever walk this land. Even the Pale Knight would have knelt before me. I felt so very little for so long. My edges dulled over the numb years rotting in the boudoir and kennels. Now, I can hear it at last. See it at last. How all the lowly creatures of this plane are begging to to serve. How to call upon them. Scurrying footpads in their safe houses. Rats below our feet in their filthy holes. The crows in the night above! They will obey. The world will stir in fear. Oh, I wouldn't be so sure. The very composition of my blood has been altered. This is but the beginning. I already hear the world whispering in sweet surrender. And I feel alive.
Okay, now we're going to do a couple of things in here, and I'm going to show you the last impact of this choice. So, searching Cazador, you come up with his ring, and you come up with Rhapsody. Now, Rhapsody
Trust no one.
is one of the better weapons in this game, in that it's a dagger, it's light and finesse. The 1d10 necrotic is coming from Astarion. You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls, damage, and spell save DC for every foe you slay, up to a maximum of +3. Okay, now Astarion is very, very good at killing things, especially if he gets a surprise round to start throwing crits out. And he can very quickly gain a +3 to attack rolls and damage while he's utilizing Rhapsody. Sweet Bloodletting possibly inflict bleeding when hitting a creature with this weapon while hiding or invisible. It's meh. However, if you do have Buwal's Benediction during this time, and you can inflict bleeding upon multiple creatures, then that means that you're going to have advantage on attack rolls for everybody who has that. We got that in our honor mode playthrough. We didn't get it through all of this. It was way too long ago to even think about. The second thing that you pick up is Woe. Now, Woe is actually really good. First, it's a bound weapon, which means it can't be knocked out of your hand, and it automatically returns when you throw it. The last part is not really necessary for us. You gain a +1 bonus to spell save DC and spell attack rolls. That's big. Anything that helps you land those spells better is going to be a good thing. Arcane Vampirism, though, however, is part of where this thing really shines, and that when the creatures affected by your spells fail any associated saving throws, you gain 1d4 hit points. And that is per failed saving throw. So if you throw out, say, a fireball, so to speak, and it hits 5 different people, and because you've got a +1 bonus to spell save DC, all 5 of them fail it, that's 5d4 hit points that you can possibly gain back in healing. So it's a massive boost to your survivability in conjunction with your AoE spells. It also allows you to cast Blight. Now, Blight is a great single target damage spell. This is at level 4, and it does 8d8 necrotic damage. And this gives you a level 4 cast of it for free that you can get once every long rest. So Woe is a much better idea in the offhand slot for Gale here. And that's why I'm going to change that out for him. If I'm going to make a change with Astarion, then what I'm going to do is probably do the Sword of Life Stealing and Rhapsody back to dual wielding here. And I will probably redo Astarion's build to get rid of Sentinel, which takes advantage of the reaction when people are attacking other people around him, to take advantage of the additional necrotic damage. So I'm going to play with this a little bit off stream and see how it works.
Can't give up now.
So nobody else down here is going to have anything on them. So you can search them all you want. None of it's going to matter. Quickly, and then we will end the stream as the last impact of making the choice that we did.
Better be cautious. Let's see what you're hiding.
Everybody here has been sacrificed. They were all part of the 7,000 souls that had to be given up in that ritual. So they are all dead, including the Gur children. And here is Ulma from the Gur. She is waiting for us. There's a quest marker here. And as part of updating this quest, we helped him complete the ritual that included killing the children of the Gur. It's hard to imagine that Ulma will take this well, and she is not going to. So we are going to have a fight here on our hands. We have completed the Pale Elf, and I guess one more thing I forgot. Astarion, he's going to have some vampiric forces joining us in the final battle as part of our Gather Your Allies. If you didn't have him complete the ritual, you would not get Woe. He would break the scepter, so you would not get it. You would still get Rhapsody, and then you would have the Gur as your allies during the final battle, because they would approve of you killing Cazador and not completing the ritual. Okay. So I'm going to drop a save here, and we are going to pick this up here next week, and we're going to continue on with our companion quests by heading to Sorcerous Sundries next week and deal with Gale's companion quest. And that has a very interesting resolution as well, especially since we have killed the Night Song. So I think that gives us a good spot to do our break here. As always, thank you all very much for being here. I hope that me replaying that encounter doesn't rub anybody the wrong way. But a bunch of mistakes at the start of it were made, by me specifically, and I think this is a much better thing to illustrate for all of you at the end of it. So I hope everyone is okay with it, because as always, without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Draval saying, until next time, fare thee well.